everybody, it is me Leo and welcome back to another Stardew Valley Legacy speed build. So today we're working on Pierre's general store. So this is basically a shop house where the character Pierre lives with his wife Caroline and their daughter Abigail, which is one of the bachelorettes in Stardew Valley. So if you guys want to learn more about the series, feel free to check out the very first video I uploaded on the series where I built Grandpa's farm. Also, it's still very much a work in progress, so if you guys have any suggestions, feel free to let me know in the comments below. So as for this build, this is actually one of the larger locations in Stardew Valley, and it's also one of the more important ones because most of the stuff you're gonna need to make a functioning farm is gonna have to be bought from here. Unfortunately, there's no way to make actual shop houses in The Sims 4, so I kind of had to just end up making this into a regular house. But rest assured, all of the rooms and all of the different areas that are in Pierre's house in Stardew Valley can also be found in this version of the house as well, because as I mentioned in my previous video, I did want to go for as much screen accuracy as I can, so I tried my best to completely replicate and recreate all of the different areas and locations of this particular house in Stardew Valley. So yeah, it's a very fun build. There's so many interesting and maybe even secret rooms in this house as well, so I'm going to be talking more about that as we get there. But essentially this functions as a general store pretty much. In Stardew Valley, most of the townsfolk come here or to Joja Mart if they need something, if they need groceries. I think Pierre's general store represents more of like the smaller businesses, because I think Joja Mart is more of like a corporate thing, and basically the main arc of Stardew Valley is kind of like this competition or rivalry between the smaller businesses with bigger corporate businesses that's threatening them to put them out of business and stuff like that. And in Stardew Valley you can kind of choose to pursue whichever option you'd like. It doesn't really have a defined way for you to play the game, but yeah, basically for the challenge itself, for the Stardew Valley Legacy Challenge, this is pretty much just Pierre's house. I mean, I wish I could have made it into like a grocery store, but I don't see that as a possibility as of yet. But aside from that, this also works as kind of like a community like hangout, I guess, or like, I don't know, like a community center, even though like there is like a separate community center in Stardew Valley. A lot of the townsfolk actually come here to pretty much do all of the tasks they would in like a normal community center. Like there are times when a lot of the local women would come here to exercise and work out. I noticed when I played Stardew Valley. Also, there is kind of like an altar. I believe it's like the Temple of Yoba or something, or like the altar of Yoba, something like that. And some of the more pious villagers come here, I believe every Sunday or something like that. I actually don't recall which villager specifically, but I know George is one of them, and maybe Evelyn, I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've played Stardew Valley, but let me tell you guys, very rarely do I get so into a video game that it transcends simply being a game and into something that I love. And I never thought it would happen to me after all of the games that I played growing up, because very little games went past the I like this and into I love this and this is a part of my life, and Stardew Valley did that. I never thought it would ever happen to me when I'm grown up, but having played Stardew Valley for a couple of years now, it's just, you know, one of those games that just really has a very special place in my heart. So pretty much for the most part, most of the outside is done already. It was a little bit tricky to fit in all of the rooms because I think one of the challenges doing all of these builds is to pretty much make the interior and exterior coherent because it is completely incoherent the way they did it in Stardew Valley. A lot of the interior spaces don't really correspond to the exterior, which is fine, you know, given the graphics and the art style. They really didn't have to make it coherent, but in this case we kind of had to, so of course I had to really work around, you know, all of the limitations and, you know, all the things that's possible. So I tried my best to be accurate with the floor plans and to place all of the rooms where they're supposed to be, but I also tried to make the outsides look as authentic as possible as well. So I kind of just had to try to reach that middle ground, you know, that Goldilocks zone, if you get what I mean. So yeah, I didn't try to prioritize the floor plan or the exterior. It's kind of like both of those I had to work around. So of course there had to be some compromises and stuff, but I think it all turned out really nicely in the end. I'm super happy. For this build in particular, there is one room that is located in the basement, and I did feel like that would have been a perfect thing to have on the basement as well, so I'm totally fine with it. A lot of the houses in Stardew Valley actually show that they have a second floor upstairs, but when you actually go inside, it actually doesn't. They don't really have like second floor, except for a couple. There's a few houses that have, like, you know, a clear first and second story when you go inside, but for this one, I think that it's safe to assume that all of the spaces are located on the ground floor. But yeah, that was a really one of the more challenging aspects of doing this series, is to you know, make everything coherent and functional, and I think everything came together really nicely in the end. I'm really proud of what I've done so far. So yeah, like I said earlier, I kind of just tried to go for as much screen accuracy as possible, so I tried my best to match all of the wallpaper and all of the floor, and I think I might have added like a couple of little tweaks myself, specifically in making some items functional, but I think that's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy. So right now we're working on the interior, and this is probably the closest wallpaper I could find to what they had in the actual general store itself. I actually had a lot of fun furnishing this grocery area, because this area right here, it's kind of like the grocery area. This is where you would buy, you know, all of your seeds for all of your crops, and it's really fun because in the game Stardew Valley, you know, the seeds would be different from different seasons. I wish we can do that, you know, in seasons. It would be so awesome to be able to come here and just buy the seeds or buy the produce, because yeah. Another thing that I had so much fun doing is actually these like little produce displays. So basically what I tried to do is I got some baskets that came with Jungle Adventure, and I enlarged them and I filled them up with different fruits and vegetables, and I thought that looked really cool, and you know, it looked really similar to how it looks in Stardew Valley, where it has all of this displays and stuff. I might have been inspired by another build that one of my good friends, Irrelevant Sims, did. She did like a grocery store excuse me, she did like a grocery store a while back, and I watched it like a couple of times actually. I think maybe 2 or 3 times, and I was like really inspired. So that's where I got a lot of the ideas from. When she made it though, we didn't have the baskets, so she used something else. but you guys can see that at this point some of the baskets already have their vegetables. So that little corner right there has all the vegetables and stuff, so you guys will see me actually put the fruits area together, which was really fun. Yeah, it's over here in the middle of the store. And basically it actually was really hard to find all the fruits and vegetables in by debug. I don't know, I tried searching for them, I tried looking for them individually, but there's just way too many things in by debug. So what I actually did is I downloaded a room that had all of these different fruits and vegetables, and it was like way easier to just get stuff from here and just put them on the baskets. Yeah, that's that. I really like it. This area has all of the fruits, and basically so far I haven't decided on whether I wanted to upload all of these builds online. I'm leaning towards just waiting until I finish everything and just uploading everything, you know, completed in one mega world save file with all of the houses, all of the builds, all of the locations, and all of the characters as well, because I'm also going to be recreating all of the different Sims for Stardew Valley in The Sims 4, but I'm not gonna make videos on those because that would just been way too intimidating, because I'm deciding to focus more on the builds, because yeah, I think a lot of people already did videos on different characters and stuff. So anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna I don't know, I'm still like 50-50 on it, to be honest. Like I want to upload the different individual builds as well, but that once again would have been a little bit too much of a hassle. But if you guys really want to, please let me know. We're still very early on into the series anyway, so you know, I'm so open to take your guys' suggestions, so feel free to do so. You know, in case I do decide to upload in the end, you guys can find all the links for that in the description. If it's not there yet, I still haven't made up my mind, but I definitely decided to stick to a couple of hashtags. So the official hashtag for this challenge and for everything I create is the hashtag Simju Legacy Challenge. Hashtag Simju Legacy Challenge. No, actually no, it's not. Hashtag Simju Valley Legacy Challenge. Should I include the word challenge? You know what, just let's decide to make it just hashtag Simju Valley Legacy. Okay, for all of the builds, you guys can search for it using the hashtag Simju Valley Legacy Builds, and for the Sims you can use the hashtag Simju Valley Legacy Sims. That is quite a mouthful. Hopefully that's coherent, but yeah, anyway, I will put all of the links in the description below, and I'm also gonna comment down all of the hashtags as well, so it'll be easier for you guys. I probably sound gibberish to most of you right now, but hopefully I don't know, it's fine. I'm trying. It's really stressful to commentate over everything, but we'll get through it. You guys can probably see that I threw in some shelves over there in one corner to the right. Off camera, I actually filled those in with, you know, different stuff for sale, and you know, just to make it look a little bit more, I guess, occupied, a little bit more, yeah, filled in basically. But this right here is actually a really fun little space. This little basement area is actually Yoba's altar or Yoba's temple or something like that, Yoba shrine, I don't know, something like that. But there's actually a really special lore here that I found out because I was just so into Stardew Valley. I had to like research all of the lore and stuff. Apparently this whole structure existed before Pierre and Caroline lived here, and this altar was already here before they moved in, and they kind of just decided to keep it because a lot of the townsfolk kind of prefer to have like a place to worship or something like that. So yeah, that's really interesting, the fact that, you know, the altar has been here for a really long time. I think that sheds a little bit more light on like the history of the place and what could have happened decades or maybe even centuries ago. So I think that's what's really interesting about Stardew Valley is there's really no defined lore. Like there's a lot of hints of everything hidden in the world, that you kind of have to make your own assumptions on what really happened, which I think is really fun because I do really like to speculate. And one of the things that I like to speculate on is actually Abigail's origins as a child. Now it's, I think, universally accepted that Abigail isn't the child of Caroline and Pierre. I mean, the game says she is, but so many people think that she isn't. But basically my little theory is that Abigail is actually the daughter of the wizard Rasmodius, and I think that Caroline is actually a mermaid because she has green hair, which is very unnatural. So I feel like Caroline's a mermaid. She fell in love with Pierre. They both decided to get married. She moved on to land, but she couldn't have a child with Pierre because she's a mermaid. They're two different, races, or whatever. And basically, there was an opportune moment when Rasmodius Wizard was having, family problems at home. He was going through a divorce with his wife or something like that. Maybe him giving away his daughter is what caused their divorce, I don't know. But basically, at some point, Rasmodius decides to, I guess, maybe give his daughter away, or like something like that, or like, I don't know, entrust his daughter's life and safety to Pierre, who longs to have a child. And I think that was the perfect opportunity for them to kind of have a child, and for Rasmodius to make sure that his child was safe away from the clutches of his evil, vengeful witch of a wife, which actually exists in the game. She actually comes once in a while to your farm and curses some of the crops, so that's really interesting. Anyway, that is purely speculation on my part, but a while back you guys probably saw me furnish the kind of like open area upstairs. It's kind of like the community area or whatever. And that area is kind of like the area where like all of the different townsfolk would exercise, because they actually come here once in a while to exercise. So I put in some gym equipment over there. I think I put like a weights thing, and I also put a couple of yoga mats as well. I think that some of the women actually lift weights or whatever. I think some of them use different equipment, but whatever. Anyway, right now we're working on Yoba's altar or Yoba's temple, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's a really fun little space right here. It's supposed to be like all gold, but we don't really have a lot of gold furniture, so I tried my best to do whatever I can. Also, in the middle of the altar, the actual altar itself has like a beautiful treasure chest. I believe that one came with vampires, I'm not sure. Or actually, maybe the base game, I think that might have been patched in. But I thought that was an interesting thing to put as a display. So yeah, that was pretty much it. That was pretty self-explanatory. Like I said earlier, in the game, like a lot of the townsfolk would actually come there to worship and just just sit around and stuff like that. So I thought that was a really interesting thing. Also, you guys can probably hear the train passing by. Apologies for that if that's distracting, but anyway, now moving on to the kitchen area. Once again, I just tried my best to match it up with the game as much as I can. So all of the different locations for all of the furniture and for all of the decorative items, I tried my best to kind of just make sure that they are where they're supposed to be, as close to where they're supposed to be in game. So yeah, I actually think this place turned out really, really nice in the end. It's like it's pretty straightforward, but I do think it's also quite functional as well. Actually, what's really interesting is that in Stardew Valley, most of the tables are actually square tables, but we don't really have those in The Sims 4, so I kind of just ended up with like using these rectangular ones. I mean, it's fine. I think that, you know, I think it kind of like carries over the point. I think you guys get the point. Anyway, I guess, oh, actually, by the way, I actually doubled up on some lights. Like a lot of the lights in many different houses, I've actually doubled up because it was way too dark inside. I don't know why, but I don't know, but like it was just really dark. So I didn't want to make the lighting look weird by putting like so many lights all over the place. So what I did is I kind of just doubled up on the same light to kind of give more light into the space, and I think it came together really nice. You don't even notice that there's actually multiple lights hanging from the ceiling because I kind of put them one on top of the other. So I think that's pretty much it for the kitchen. Now moving on to Pierre and Caroline's bedroom. They actually have a purple rug or carpet, and it was really hard to decide because there's only like 2 purple colored carpets, but I think this one's a really good choice. But yeah, it's a really interesting, simple bedroom. Once again, I just tried to put all of the different, you know, furniture items over here. Wow, all of the traffic outside is making so much noise. I apologize for that. If that's making you guys uncomfortable or distracted, but yeah, you know, I tried my best as well to excuse me, to match up all of the different colors for like all the different furniture items as well. So, you know, I think this bedroom in the game is a little bit more square, but we literally had no space in this lot to do anything. Like we had literally no space to expand, so it became a little bit more distorted, but it's fine. I think it's okay. Yep, I tried my best to put all of the different functional items as well in The Sims 4, because I think that a lot of the areas actually don't have closets in Stardew Valley. Like I think most of them had like display tables only, so instead of those I actually used cabinets and closets and stuff like that, if that makes sense. Okay, so now we're working on Abigail's bedroom. Now this was actually a little bit tricky because it's so different from the shape of Abigail's room itself, but once again we barely had any room to, like, we have no room to expand whatsoever, so I did my best to include all of the items that's in her room, and also tried my best to kind of have an accurate layout, even though this is just way too different because she has a very rectangular shaped room. So I mean, yeah, I tried my best. So yeah, Abigail's bedroom has a really interesting wallpaper. She actually has like an underwater themed wallpaper, which in my opinion supports my theory that Caroline is actually a mermaid. Like yes, she is actually a mermaid. I think that in the new patch for like Stardew Valley, I think the online version, I haven't played it yet. Like there's like a festival where it's like the market festival in like the beach area, and one of the boats that come over for that lake festival or something has like a mermaid show, and if I remember correctly, the mermaid has green hair just like Caroline. So once again, it supports the theory that Caroline's a mermaid. She can't have a child with Pierre. That's why Abigail, they took her from Rasmodius. That sounds like they kidnapped her. No, I mean Rasmodius gave them Abigail or something like that. I don't know, whatever. Also, Abigail has a fish tank. She is her mother, her stepmom's actually a mermaid. Yeah, actually. I'm really pushing that though. But anyway, so yeah, I just put all of the different items. It might not be like the exact same layout, but you guys can pretty much get the point. So I think that the aquarium and the closet, or like the drawer area thing, it's supposed to be on the same wall as where the TV is. But of course we just had no space, so I just put them somewhere else. Also, Abigail has a chess table in her room without any chairs, so I'm still debating whether I'm gonna put chairs or not. I mean, should I go for like 100% accuracy, or like, you know what, I think I'm gonna put chairs. The only thing is that the chairs are just making everything look so cramped. That's why at this point in the video, I think I take them out actually. I think I actually take out those chairs. But I mean, I think we can easily just add chairs to that as well. I don't know. So yeah, it's a predicament, but I think everything will be fine. So I'm just trying to like match the chairs here as much as I can with the colors that they have in the actual like Stardew Valley game itself. So I'm doing my best. So for the bathrooms, once again, I just kept everything really simple and really consistent with the overall style of the furnishing and the decor. So this one has kind of like an ocean, underwater, nautical theme. That is a really cute bathtub, by the way. I barely use that because it looks more for like the kids and stuff, but I thought that it was really appropriate for this bathroom, so I was like, you know what, let's use that. Let's go ahead and go with it. But I think that is pretty much it actually for most of the interior. We're just gonna do some minor adjustments to the outside, but I think that is pretty much it. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up my commentary right here. So once again, if you guys want to support the channel, please don't forget to hit that like, favorite, and subscribe button because it really helps out a lot, okay? So yeah, you all have an awesome day. Enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.